You have been watching the funeral for firefighter Jermaine Pelt, service that lasted more than 90 minutes at the House of Hope in Pullman, close to where he died a week ago fighting a house fire on April 4th.
A spirited service today where we heard from not only family, immediate family and family from the Chicago Fire Department. Speaking today, reflections from Chicago Fire Department Commissioner Annette Nance Holt. We also heard a eulogy from Pastor Newton Pelt Jr., a cousin of firefighter EMT Jermaine Pelt. In the audience, Pelt's parents, his partner Ariana, and also his two children, his daughter Jory, married last winter where her father walked her down the aisle. Also his son Jared, who we believe is about 5 or 6 years old. A lot of love for both of them today. Many of these speakers acknowledging the support that they will provide both of those children as they live the rest of their lives without their father.
In his eulogy, Pastor Newton Pelt described his cousin's optimism and said, "We're not in despair. We have hope today beyond the grave." Kris Habermehl of CBS 2 is also a firefighter. Kris, you've been watching this service.
Well, Jim and Marie, the thing that I was really uplifted by was the fact that it was such a hopeful service, that the pastor, Newton Pelt, called on everyone to have hope and go by Jermaine Pelt's example, to lead with selfless love and dedication to their fellow man. We're looking outside the House of Hope right now, and what we're seeing is the pipes and drums of the Chicago Police and fire departments together. They are waiting for the pallbearing party to make their way toward the door. This is all being coordinated by two-way radio as Chopper 2 moves into position here, and you can see that the ladder truck, we've seen many ladder trucks with the upraised ladder extended all the way with the flag of our nation at the end. And we have the massed officers of the Chicago Fire Department. We have a formation of police officers just out of frame there. We've got dignitaries and family coming in here, and as a helicopter endeavors to move in, get some changing wind conditions out there, so occasionally you might catch a sight of the toe of one of the skids there as they get into position. The formation was called to leave the sanctuary early, to come outside, to get set up in the parking lot, because there's a lot of moving parts to this. There are hundreds and hundreds of uniformed personnel. This is just the formation that is gathered around the door. There are more that are stretched out on either side there, and you can see there's an honor cordon of firefighters that are stretching from where the engine, the Academy engine, Fire Academy engine that will be taking the casket, receiving the casket here shortly with engine 75, the last engine that Jermaine Pelt was assigned to. He originally was at truck 27, which was also in Roseland, and was moved over to engine 75. He accepted that position in 2015 and has been there ever since. So as you can see, the family gathered around the limousines behind the engine that will accept the casket here shortly. The funerary party has now climbed up onto the engine there to receive the casket. We do have one party of pallbearers. Again, these are members that served alongside Jermaine Pelt and Engine Company 75, Engine 115, Tower Ladder 24. Then, of course, there are two EMS companies in the house that they're in right now over at 119th and Morgan. That's a new house. It's only a couple of years old. And they have taken two houses and consolidated them into that new one. Ambulance 5 and Ambulance 76 are also in that house. And Commissioner Annette Nance Holt mentioned them by name and by company number to let them know and assure them that they are remembered and are supported by all the other companies, all the other firefighters in the city of Chicago and the fire service at large. The colors are presented there. You can see that the flag poles, the flag stanchions are raised vertically with the flag of our nation, the state of Illinois, the city of Chicago, and the Chicago Fire Department. And now we are on the verge of getting the casket being moved out there, and so you can see that the standards of all of the battalions have now been lowered. All of the uniformed members have been now called to attention, and the order to present arms and the standard hand salute is now being rendered as the casket makes its way out of the House of Hope into the sunlight for reception on the engine and then transport to eventual interment in Blue Island. So we will be following that along here. You notice that to the left, that is engine 75 that Jermaine Pelt served on, and was the last engine that was actually at the fire where he passed. And then the engine from the Fire Academy has had the hose bed modified, the hose taken out of it, and the hose vertical hose dividers taken out to allow for the platform to be placed in the back that will receive the casket here shortly. We have two separate parties of pallbearers here, all members that served closest alongside Jermaine Pelt, and now the command has been given to face the casket in alignment with the back of the engine, the rear of the engine, and this is the point at which they will lift that casket physically up over their heads and allow the other pallbearers to receive that casket and slide it forward there to clear the tailboard on the engine.
Kris, we've so appreciated your context throughout these last few days, including a sentiment I want to touch on that you shared earlier. I felt it. I know Jim has too. It has been an honor and a privilege to learn more about these two Chicago firefighters that we have laid to rest over the past 2 days, especially today, firefighter EMT Jermaine Pelt.
Kris, are there...
Now you see the casket.
Are there common rituals for the graveside service for a firefighter?
Indeed, there are honors that are rendered at the graveside, just as there are honors all along. And one of the things that is to be noted that from the time both of the members that have fallen, that have passed, they were not alone from the time that they fell to the time that they are interred. There will always be an honor guard. There will always be a firefighter, a brother or sister firefighter, to keep them company and keep watch over them as they continue their journey for their final rest.
We should also note that firefighter Pelt's father spoke at the service today and said that when his son was young, he was considering the police department or the fire department, and he chose the fire department.
He encouraged him to do so. A life of service. 49-year-old Chicago firefighter EMT Jermaine Pelt, a loving father, a family man, and a contributor to his community for all of his 49 years, paying the ultimate sacrifice.